Good afternoon. We are today making the video on the point satire, Restoration Age. Okay, Dryden was the leading figure of Restoration Age, and he tried his hand in each and every generation. We all know that for the progress of any kind of literary generation, there should be such kind of background, fertile background behind it. Okay, so in this way, if this kind of fertile background made available to that poets and poet and literary genius, they definitely would have encashed that. Okay, and in this way John Dryden mastered a good sense of satire writing. Now why satires are so popular? Because the satire was used as a weapon to whip, to otherwise to castigate the follies, discrepancies of the political figure, otherwise the people who were in power. Okay, so directly these satirists were not expressing anything, and the satires are many-folded. Okay, so the person who does know the background behind can interpret these kinds of satire with great honesty. And satire was the most popular literary genre in that era. So contempt and hatred are the most unlovely feelings. Satirists are avoiding that direct expression. Now, these satirists were not expressing their feeling directly. They are expressing feeling with a covered manner. So people's sentiment should be kept intact. Okay, frequent usage of irony, tactful balancing of situation, and all that matters are balancing all the situations and managing acted as managing tool. Okay, for the satire there are two qualities which were very necessary: brilliant dexterity and accomplishment in versification. Now we are going to know about the background. What was the background of that restoration era? Okay, so in that restoration era there were two political parties. One was Tory, who was supporting monarchy, and second is Whig, who was opposing monarchy. Okay, now that monarchy wanted to sustain in each and every era, but Whig people were lords, Whig people were noblemen, and they wanted not any kind of intervention of monarch in their personal life, in their social life also. Okay, so they were opposing that monarchy at great extent. But Dryden was the party of Tory. He was very loyal to his king. Okay, now first of all he portrayed Shaftesbury in Absalom and Achitophel, and he favored a lot satire, because he wanted to paint his character by inch. Okay, Shaftesbury was a Whig poet, and he was the great advocate of Whig party. Okay, now this satire is totally based on the biblical story of King David and his illegitimate son, that is Absalom. Okay, now Absalom is always feeling so insecure, because due to his illegitimate status. Okay, he wanted full security. He doesn't know that in future year he will seize the empire or not. Okay, so he wanted to keep his persona intact, and he revolted against his father. Achitophel, the king's counselor, helped him at great extent. And in this way, he exploited Absalom's innocence for seizing the throne, because Absalom was previously a good character. But nowadays he is so ambitious. Nowadays he wants complete control over the kingdom. Okay, so he wanted Absalom to treat his father with his power. Now there were many bloodthirsty people. They were opportunists. Okay, and they all people came into support of Achitophel and ultimately Absalom. Okay, so Absalom party is now confirmed and people of much strength were supporting Absalom. Now David's position is in danger. King David is in minor situation in his personal life also and political life also. Okay. Now due to Absalom, he trusted Absalom much, and now he has been facing his trust in great danger. Achitophel was the great figure who was convincing Absalom to seize the power. Otherwise, of his father's enemies. Okay, and Absalom, who was not a person of experience, he accepted the counsel provided by Achitophel. Okay, now when we are reaching to the climax, we come to know that King David has been delivering a generous speech in front of his people, and his people are very at much strength convinced by his speech. The play ends very abruptly, and later we come to know that King David again restored to the throne because he was the party of God. Okay, and in this way Achitophel purposes are denounced by King's generous words. Now we have to first of all discuss the background of this satire. Shaftesbury was the Whig poet and who was liberated from the charges of high treason by the grand jury. Okay. Now Whig people were celebrating this event with great honor. They were distributing medal on which a picture, an emblem of rising sun, which was obscured by for some white, and in this way this medal was stick to on their bosom, and they were ostensibly they are feeling so proud. Okay, and they are showing all that matter to the other subject also. King David, while wandering in the garden along with Dryden, he said that if he would have poetic genius, he would have painted all that character with some negative colors and with some absurdity. And Dryden acknowledges his wish, and he painted Shaftesbury with many negative color, with many negative hues. And Shaftesbury also in turn answered the satire written by him, Shadwell, the Medal of John Bay. Now we are coming to the features of that satire. Okay, the feature of the satire contains a strong defense of monarchy as a legitimate tool. Okay, according to Dryden, it was the only monarchy who had the strength to govern the whole universe. Okay, and in his opinion, he had the great contempt to the mob rule, because he was thinking that if mob got authority or power, then anybody who was lacking in caliber could rule the mob. Okay, planning and plotting of monarchy's hater. He wanted to reveal the planning and plotting of monarchy's haters. Okay, and in this way, they people were so dishonest. According to Dryden, they people were not keeping pace with some moral code of conduct. Last number is conspiracies plotted to ignite civil war. It was the period of civil war. So there was a great conflict and dispute among the people of the court. Okay. Now further we are telling the story of next satire, that is MacFlukney. Okay. MacFlukney published in 1782, and it was also against Shadwell. Dryden took his revenge on Shadwell. Flecknoe was a Catholic Irishman and a Catholic priest. He won a title of one of the meanest versifier of the century and butt of marvelous satire. He was a poetaster and dullard. Flecknoe was the king of the realm of nonsense. He got signs of his last journey, and he started hunt for his hair. And his search ended on Shadwell. This proved that Shadwell was even the worst versifier than Flecknoe. In this way, we covered two Dryden's satires and once by Shadwell. Okay. So it was the era of political strife, civil unrest, and in this way, this satirist came forth to delineate and to portray the social condition. What was the political condition, and what was the people, common people were thinking about that. In this way, in a humorous way, with using some ironical fact, Dryden painted these political characters with great colors and great strength also. But slowly, gradually, Dryden lost his caliber in writing satire because he was now more venomous. He started to castigate his people with the great annoying degree. And in this way, first of all, Dryden was famous for some buoyant satires. Now he was derided for his venomous stripe presented in. Further, in this way, in Restoration era, with the end of the Restoration era and Dryden's period, satire went into oblivion. But when the classic era started again with Alexander Pope revived that satire, and his satires were more tame, more generous, and he was not castigating his opponents also. Okay, so he was keeping honor of his people, honor of his enemies intact. So the care which is not taken by Dryden was absolutely taken by Alexander Pope. Now, to paint these characters, these political characters, otherwise social leading figures, Dryden tried his hand with best caliber. And in this way, when we are uttering the word satire of restoration age or restoration era, we first of all emphasize on the name of the Dryden, because Dryden tried his hand in each and every kind of generation. It might be didactic poems, it might be satires, it might be heroic tragedies. Okay, so Dryden was the person of caliber, person of accomplishment, and he was so prudent to delineate worthwhile characters. And in this way, when we announcing his status, he is getting most apotheosis and most high pedestal status in the literature in writing satire. So, in my opinion, satire is the praiseworthy generation. Okay. So while laughing with boisterous laughing, we come to know about the follies, about the discrepancies, about the superficialities of human nature, and we become introvert and we start to think. Okay, so these satires are blunt weapons. Actually, they were not posing threat to anybody. But in the course of time, the satirist having great strength, we have to say that they went to oblivion. Now we are counting names of satires like John Dryden, Alexander Pope, and Jonathan Swift. They were the caliber satirists of all time, and we have to appreciate their talent in the realm of satires. Thank you.